ISRO has been one of India's greatest success stories. From launching satellites at record low costs to placing a spacecraft on the moon, to preparing for India's first human spaceflight mission, the organization has become a symbol of scientific excellence and national pride. But today, ISRO is facing a challenge that no rocket or spacecraft can solve. It is losing its scientists. The Department of Space has now stepped in to halt what officials describe as a spate of resignations from some of India's most critical space programs. According to reports, between 100 and 120 scientists have either resigned or sought voluntary retirement in recent months. The departures are not from routine projects. They include scientists associated with Gaganyaan, India's ambitious human spaceflight mission, as well as key personnel who contributed to missions like Chandrayaan 3 and other flagship programs. The concern is serious enough that the Department of Space has issued a fresh internal order. It has been learned that under the new rules, resignations and voluntary retirement requests from scientists working on Gaganyaan and other nationally important missions will no longer be cleared in routine. In fact, center directors have now been told not to approve such requests on their own. Instead, every case must be sent to the Department of Space for a final decision. Critical national missions cannot be disrupted by sudden departures of experienced scientists. The agency has struggled to meet some of its launch targets. In 24-25, ISRO completed only 9 of the 22 planned launches, while 15 launches were achieved against a target of 21 and 25-26. ISRO Chairman D.V. Narayanan has acknowledged that scientists are leaving but insists the organization is prepared to manage the situation. His argument is that every institution experiences attrition and responsibilities can always be reassigned. But the larger question is whether replacing highly specialized scientists is really that simple. A mission manager who helped validate Chandrayaan 3's moon landing, a project director leading a launch vehicle program, or scientists working on India's first human space flight. These are not positions that can be filled overnight. The challenges also goes beyond numbers. ISRO has 14,000 employees and recruitment is already underway for more than 1,000 new positions. Yet, the latest order itself acknowledges that losing experienced scientists from strategic missions can directly affect projects of national importance. So the big question is India witnessing an ISRO brain drain or simply the evolution of a larger space industry from which ISRO is not untouched? On this issue, I am joined by Group Captain V.N. Jha, Senior Scientist, former Joint Director DRDO, another Senior Scientist, noted voice, Gauhar Raza. I am also joined by Dr. Ram Srivastav, ex-ISRO scientist. Thank you all of you. Let me take this opportunity to go to Dr. Ram Srivastav first. So I have two sets of questions. We'll begin with the first. Why are people or top-notch scientists leaving ISRO?
The reason is very simple, because they have got very open opportunities out of ISRO. The private organizations are now taking active part in development of space science in our country. So people are just getting the better future there. That's why they are trying to get the VRS. Anyway, another points are also very, very important, which cannot be ignored. Number one is that the retirement age of the scientist there is again 60 years only. And a person who is joining the ISRO is nearly at about 30 years of age. And within such a nice experience, when he is capable of doing something very good. In other countries, retirement age is directly connected with their achievements technically. But in our country, all ISRO scientists, they are being governed by the fundamental rules which were designed by the Britishers, and those rules are still working like that. A third important point is ISRO is under the watch of the foreign spies. I know that it is very well known. Nambi Narayanan case, it was charge was given to him that he is selling the secrets of the ISRO to other countries. And he suffered a lot. Ultimately, it was the Supreme Court who turned out all those charges. Similarly, there is another case of Dr. Praveen Modia. He has written the complaint of the Kerala police to the government. So this type of frustration is always there. and the life of the people there is not very safe as far as the professional life is concerned. Other thing is people are just uh, avoiding uh, the service of ISRO, as I know very in detail, because of the technique of writing confidential report. The CR is the device by which the evaluation of the performance of the person is recorded. But this may be true in the civil services, in professional services, in technical services. The achievement must be there, and that achievement should grade the people. But here, in order to just make happy our senior person, uh, some of the talented persons, they are being thrown out from this particular strain. Anyway, these are the parameters which can be controlled by changing absolutely the entire administration pattern. So administration pattern is also responsible for this type of frustration which the scientists are getting, and they are getting better opportunities out of the ISRO. So they are now trying to leave it. But it will affect our mission. So the ISRO has taken a very wise decision that VRS will not be recommended until the mission is complete. So let us hope it will work. Otherwise, we'll have to investigate that entire matter, and we should find out the scientific pattern and what are the lacunas in our administration and how they can be removed, so that the scientists should utilize their skill and should work in the free and good atmosphere. As far as spying part is concerned, it is there. Every country who is jealous of our Indian research development, they are just peeping inside and trying to collect what is happening.
We'll come to that spying, sir. Dr. Srivastava will come to that. Let me take opening comments from Mr. Gohar Raza. Sir, your opening comments, brain drain in ISRO?
Of course, and it's a very worrying thing. This report has shaken me, but I think that I agree with my colleague here, who says that it's a matter of concern and there is frustration. It is an
is it pay frustration? Is it work frustration? Is it work atmosphere frustration? What's the issue?
So, but that is a part which can only be revealed once an investigation is done properly, that why people are leaving, but it concerns the entire nation, if you ask me. The report that you quoted also says that about 700 people have left ISRO during 12 years, that is 2012 to 2024. This is a very misleading figure, because if you look at it, then the average people who left ISRO, average scientist or anybody who left ISRO, is about 60 per year. But here the same report says that about 120 people have left within a few months, and they have left. The ISRO administration and Department of Space have been sleeping for such a long time, because these are not issues which have cropped up just now. People have left, and these are the people who are repository of scientific knowledge, which has made ISRO one of the gems of the country. And people are leaving, therefore it should have been investigated much earlier rather than after people have left in such a large number. Coming to ISRO, I think that because of ISRO, India became partner in a very small exclusive club. And it is not the walls and facilities and things like that which create an ambience to do best research. That is important. But it's people whose commitment to science leads to a situation where you become a leading country in space sciences. Now, it is extremely worrying at the moment that there is a brain drain from ISRO. my colleague also pointed out that it's privatization. Yes, of course, it could be privatization, but we as children, when we were growing up, it was a prestigious thing to think about ISRO.
Okay, Mr. Raza, I'll come to,
Prior
let me just take opening comments from
now,
everyone.
why? Let me just complete one sentence. Why today private sector has become a place to go to? That should be investigation.
Okay, okay, okay. Group Captain B.N. Jha, sir, to you. What's the real issue? Because there is a second part to this conversation on which I'm also very much interested, something which you had suggested me a long time back. The send-offs, the space send-offs have reduced.
Karthikeyan, there could be more than meets the eyes here. Of course, Mr. Srivastav, Mr. Raza, they have given their views. But I can tell you, being in the DRDO, having worked as a design scientist, I know there are many things. We are not straightway looking for the pay and perks. We enjoy our work culture much more if we get the job satisfaction. And the reward for our effort, if it relates in the terms of a successful design and development, that is what is there. That is the best actually reward for us, we scientists. Most of us, we are slightly introvert. The other things also could be playing some role, but not a major role. Look, if I am able to do my R&D in ISRO or in DRDO, which sees the light of the day, then I'm much more satisfactory with the pay packages that I have here compared to anyone else if I go to private. Of course, there is no denial that today many of the private agencies in the ISRO, in the space sector have come up, and it will continue coming up there in the future as well. I also know that very senior people, they have left. Uh, Actual reason is only if you do happen to talk to those people, and if they speak out from the core of their heart why they left. Was it sheer pay packages or something else? That you have to talk to them. But then there are series of things which has happened in the last few years. One is the proficiency or the skill level of our products. The series of failures, PSLV 61 and 62 failed, GSLV F10 failed, and for very minor reasons. PSLV is a workforce, and it failing doesn't. I am unable to digest why PSLV successive failure happened there, which is the workhorse. Remember, in R&D, as long as you are doing the R&D, you are inventing a new item. Failures are part of it, and we learn a lot of lessons from there. This PSLV is already a workforce. It is a frozen design. Everything is there. Still, it is failing. Now, people have to for ISRO. I have been telling you last 3-4 years, 5 years, that there is a need of a Q&A independent of ISRO management. There is a need of certification agency independent of ISRO management. Now, the PSLV, two PSLV have failed only because some component, some system has not been tested that it meets the specification what it was designed for, and that is what is the reason for GSLV F10. One small thing, relief valve of the hydrogen tank, that failed. So that has caused the entire thing to go off. So if QA is responsible, and someone should be held accountable for all this, all these major failures, someone should be held accountable. And ISRO is pretty soft in its administration. It tries to please everyone. Good. As a scientist, I will feel elated that if I have made a mistake, a genuine mistake, and if I am let to go, let to come over those sort of failures, I will be elated.